Hey, what's going on, guys? We need to talk about the latest Cities Skylines 2 update, because this one is way more important than it might look at first. The biggest thing for me is the pathfinding and citizen behavior changes, because that stuff affects literally everything you do in a city. Before this update, citizens had some really strange habits. One of the worst ones was that they would head to the shop with the most stock, even if it was miles away, which made no sense at all. Now they actually care about distance again, which is such a simple change, but it should make city movement feel much more grounded. On top of that, households do not keep reconsidering moves as often anymore, which should help performance a lot once your city starts getting crowded. That kind of thing matters because when a city gets huge, all those little checks add up fast. And then there's the long distance travel issue, which has been a sore spot for a while. Citizens taking absurd trips across the map has always been one of those things that breaks immersion immediately. This update gives different trip types their own travel limits, so work, school, shopping, and leisure all use ranges that make sense for the activity instead of one giant, almost unlimited cap. That is a much smarter setup. It means a kid should not be making some wild cross-city trek for school when there's a perfectly good option nearby, and a worker should not be acting like a commute is an epic journey. There is still at least one known issue where students may walk too far, so that part is not totally solved yet, but this is clearly a big step in the right direction. A few of the changes also make the city feel less messy at the edges. Tourists, commuters, and vacationers should walk along highway shoulders less often now, which is one of those things that always looked a little goofy when you saw it happen. There are also fixes for people who cannot find a viable route. Instead of just getting stuck in weird limbo, move outs can teleport off the map, workers can give up the job, and people trying to go out for leisure can just stay home and try again later. That sounds like a small detail, but it helps keep the simulation from spiraling into nonsense when traffic gets rough. The economy side got a few important tweaks too. Offices can now buy goods from outside connections if local supply is not enough, which should help keep business districts from stalling just because of a supply issue. Commercial demand was also lowered a bit, so the overall balance should be a little less aggressive. They also adjusted legal and illegal U turns so citizens can use dedicated lanes more flexibly without the system feeling overly strict. And there is a fix for buildings sometimes losing road access after leveling up, which is exactly the kind of annoying issue that can derail a district for no good reason. The visual side of the update is honestly a huge part of this patch. Terrain texturing has been heavily reworked, and that alone should make maps look way better. The blending between grass, dirt, and rock is supposed to be more natural now, with more detail in the transition areas instead of those obvious texture switches that can make terrain look artificial. Rock texturing now pulls from multiple directions instead of only from above, which should help surfaces feel less flat and repetitive. They also updated all the temperate biome maps with new grass, dirt, and rock materials, plus 4 new paintable ground materials. On top of that, terrain normals were fixed, so the ground does not look like it is leaning upward too much, and shoreline placement now lines up better with the water, which is one of those fixes you will absolutely notice once you start looking for it. There are some nice quality and performance improvements mixed in as well. Lower texture settings now use less VRAM, so that should help GPU pressure a bit. Shadows got cleaned up too, especially when the sun is low, so sunrise and sunset should look better with fewer ugly artifacts and less of that ring effect some people may have noticed from certain angles. They also added a toggle to hide snow visuals without changing the simulation, which is a pretty neat option if you like winter systems, but not the full snowy look. The tools got some love too. Terrain texture painting is now available in the game and in the map editor, and you can rotate the brush with Shift plus mouse wheel. That is a really useful addition for map makers. Contour lines can also be toggled on or off now with a keybind, and that keybind starts unassigned, so players can set it however they like. There were also fixes for the benchmark screen, button styling, the production statistics graph, and the battery depleted warning icon getting stuck even after an emergency battery station had already been refilled. Um, Little stuff like that does matter because it makes the interface feel less rough around the edges. Mods and custom content got a lot of attention too, which is great news for anyone who uses them heavily. Saves that reference missing modded or custom assets should now load properly instead of failing, which is huge. Mod error messages now show mod names instead of internal IDs after a restart, so troubleshooting should be way easier. There are also fixes for gizmos and widgets only showing when they should, read-only prefabs being saved incorrectly, and map save problems involving custom climate, water, or terrain settings. Paradox mods also got several fixes, including sync conflicts, download issues, and corrupted files causing update problems. They even added a playsets tab to creator pages and support for Blue Sky and cough.e links, plus tags can now be collapsed by default. So overall, this update feels like a serious cleanup pass that touches the simulation, visuals, editor tools, and mod support all at once. It is the kind of patch that should make the game feel calmer, smarter, and a lot less random when your cities start growing big.